What if I told you the biggest value an investment banker brings to a deal is not the ability to look through financials or analyze a lot of data? Artificial intelligence is able to do that. The biggest value an investment banker brings to a deal, well, it's kind of a secret to even many people in the industry. What it is the ability to communicate, to build rapport, and trust. But before we dive into that more, let's ask, what is an investment banker? What does an investment banker do? How is artificial intelligence being used with investment banking? And then let's dive into that secret. So what is an investment banker? Some say it's an angel with golden wings coming from the heavens, or a phoenix rising from the ashes, or a Greek god or goddess. But no, an investment banker is none of those. An investment banker, simplest, is a translator. They're able to speak entrepreneurism, and they're able to speak finance. And they're able to translate between one to the other. And because of these translations, these conversations, transactions are able to take place. Now, these transactions, we are all familiar with them in our everyday life, but bankers add complicated names to them. Mergers, acquisitions, growth capital, secondary, reverse mergers, SPACs, IPOs. But let's look at some of those. First one, a merger. You have that special someone. You're walking hand in hand, and one day you decide, let's get married. Two equals become one. You get married. Well, that marriage is a merger. And now you're walking and you see a puppy in the window and you think, oh my gosh, I want to buy this puppy, this little puppy, and bring it into our house. You buy that puppy, you acquire that puppy through an acquisition. Now that puppy, it needs food. To go from this little puppy to this big dog, well, you have to invest money in it. It needs growth capital. All those transactions that happen in everyday life, that's what bankers do with businesses. Now, each of those transactions, there's a process. And that's another thing we're all familiar with. For example, that couple that got married, that merger, well, that gentleman, he probably started day one thinking, okay, I need to put all my information, all my data in this app. And that app will create my data and profile for marketing. And that profile will then be shown to a lot of people, and after a while, it'll be selected down to one person, and well, at that point, investment bankers would say, you're in the confirmatory due diligence part, the exclusivity period. But really, they're just dating, and maybe at the end they merge. But in that very beginning, that part, that data gathering, well, this is when, right now, we'll start by implementing artificial intelligence. For years, people would sit there for hundreds of hours and look at the data of companies. They look at the financial models and they would say, okay, what is the margins for this company? Is it with industry average, better, worse? Is it growing with the market trend? But now, they use AI agents to analyze that data and give them the responses for the questions they put in like that. Same with legal documents. Instead of spending hundreds of hours going through them now, with AI agents, tell us where the yellow flags are, the red flags. Where should we take notice? Intellectual property, org charts, everything. Everything that spent hundreds of hours in the past now can be done in an instant. And the entire process, all those steps I mentioned, there's different AI agents that can be used to help. So with this, the investment banker gets to use their time for what their value is. One thing they don't tell you in school and all the books you'll read is during these processes, the emotional ups and downs, the peaks and valleys that happen throughout these transactions that at any time can derail the whole thing. I'll give you two examples. I was working with this one founder. We were in a meeting with a publicly listed company, Fortune 500, multi-billion-dollar company. And they were asking some tough questions. And I looked at the founder, and I saw his hands start tensing. I was like, oh, I've seen that before. The last time I saw that was right before he exploded at the COO and they had an argument. I paused the meeting. Hold on. Let's talk. What's going on? Are you okay? Why are they asking me that? How are they attacking me? Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They're not attacking you. They're learning about the business. They're interested in the business. They want to invest, but they have to know a little bit more. These aren't personal attacks. I had never been with the founder for the nights and weekends, for the hours that he sacrificed to build this company. I was never there. I wasn't able to feel the emotions he was at that moment. But he paused. He took a breath. We talked some more, and then we were able to continue with the meeting, move forward to the next steps in the process. Could AI have helped with that? Another example, I was working with this one founder, and I was looking through his financials, and everything looked pristine. I couldn't believe it. I mean, we're talking about a company, generational wealth, the value of this company, but yet he was acting like it was going to close tomorrow. He urgently wanted to do this transaction, and I didn't understand why. What was I missing? Where was the red flag? What would I see suddenly to uncover that he was hiding? And I got to know him. And then finally one day he opened up. Shawn. And I could hear the fear in his voice. I'm scared. Couldn't believe this. What? I'm scared that one day I'll wake up to find out a competitor has come in and taken my company out. I don't sleep at night because of this. I want to sleep again. Can you help? That time, I took his hand and walked him through the process. Would AI have been good with that? AI is fantastic in the background, doing all these things so that you can work with the client, get to know them, build the relationship. There's one more example that I'd like to share that I just thought of right now. About a year and a half ago, I was on a panel for my alma mater, the school I went to undergrad for, and the panel was made up of investment bankers. And one of the students asked, what skills should I learn right now if I want to become an investment banker? And a very senior investment banker that was sitting next to me took the mic and immediately said, Excel. We're always looking for people that are good at Excel. It'll open the doors for you. I just started shaking my head. I thought that's the wrong answer. No. The right answer, learn to ask questions. Learn to listen. Learn to be present. Learn to communicate. All these things, because right then and there, Excel, AI can create the macros, can create the formulas, can do everything. It can do everything in the background. And your client doesn't care about what happens between point A and point B. They just want you to get from point A to point B. And it's through the power of taking the time to talk, to communicate, to hold their hand, to get them from where they are to where they want to go. That is what investment bankers and other professionals in the era of artificial intelligence, through taking the time to communicate, to build a relationship, that is the most valuable thing they'll bring. Trust.